is correct. And he says the reason is 1/2 is bigger than 1/8. What I really like is he first checked to see that the whole parts were both 1, so he didn't have to think about them. That's great. And then if this is 0, and say this is 1, and this is 2, when he says 1/2 is bigger than 1/8, you can think about in a interval from 0 to 1, if you think about eighths, they're little jumps. So I agree with you, Nathan, because those little jumps, if we were going to put 1 1/8 on our number line, we would put it right here because it's one whole jump and one little jump. So that is where we would put 1 1/8. But he also said 1/2 is bigger than 1/8 because half jumps go like that. So 1 1/2 goes right to there. So that's 1 1/2. So since 1 1/2 is farther to the right, that's how come it's larger, and that's why we put that inequality in. Bailey, next one.
I put like I said -2
It's actually smaller. So Grace, it turns out, Bailey, that the sign should go this way. Grace, can you explain that? Oh, not equal. Bella?
Because -2/3 is closer to 0.
Yes. So remember, as you move to the right on the number line, you get a bigger number. So
hey guys, this is really important. Please look up.
that was a really good way to describe it, Bella. So if I look at my number line and I divide it, I'm going to move this whole little picture and make it a little smaller. Isn't that great? Smartboard? Great. Okay, so if this is -1 and this is -2, and I have my number line, -3 would be about here. -2/3 is before -1. It's right there. That's -2/3. And -2 1/3. This one you have to go to the left 2 whole jumps and then 1/3 of a jump. So that's -2 1/3. So Bailey, when you are looking to see what's the biggest, anything to the right, the farther you go on the number line to the right, the bigger you're getting. So since 2/3 is farther to the right than -2, since -2/3 is farther to the right than -2 1/3, we say that the -2/3 is the bigger one. So it's what is to the right. If that's the one that's bigger. Roman.
No. I'm doing the.
Oh. Yeah, Sean can help you with that. Do you remember? Hang on a second. Hannah, to the next one. What do you think? Yes, -2/5. So can you explain this a different way, maybe without a picture? Right, so she's taking the -2/5 and doubling the numerator and the denominator, just like we did with ratio tables. She gets a -4/10. And 4/10 is to the right on a number line. In other words, if I put a number line to the common denominators, the number line really helps with the negatives, because we tend to rush and make mistakes on negatives. So if this is 0 and I had tenths, this would be -1. -4/10 is right here. And that's farther to the right than -6/10. So since it's on the right, it's larger. Raise your hand if you have a question so far. Neve, do the next one,
Okay, so
please.
what I did was it helps me when I have even denominators.
She
so
made a
I
common
do-
denominator.
Yeah, so I times the top and bottom by 3.
Good. Multiply.
Get, well, multiply by 4 top and bottom to get 9/12.
Right.
And then, so then I compared them that way.
So 3/4 and 9/12 are the same.
And since they're not, and since it's not a minus or a negative,
Since they're not negative,
it's 9/12.
it's 9/12 is the largest. So to grab that and put it there. Okay? I'm going to post that because part of your homework tonight's like that. You have different strategies.